What's up, podcast peeps? This is the 228 podcast. My name is Patrick. And get ready for world domination. Nah. It's just the 228 way to dominate the world. So, how do we dominate the world? Fill the world with what we want. Man, what a good question. I want to dominate so bad, I can taste it. But what gets you to that, first of all, is figuring out who you are and what your interests are. And I'm going to tell you why that is a key part to dominating the world. The reason why you want to figure out who you are and what you are and what you're made of and what you're about is because when you put in the work and you love what you do and what you're doing, then it doesn't feel like work. You want to know the key to success? Not working while you work. That's why you must figure out what you like, what you want to do all the time, because putting all this together takes time. Let's not bullshit each other, all right? It'll take a good 5 years, 5, 7, 10, 15 years. Hell, I've even heard 20 years. But if you put yourself out there on the internet and use it to cut the middleman out, then you will succeed. But you have to figure out what you're made of, what you like, and what you vision yourself doing every day. Now, my idea is selling great products, writing great articles, shining up some cars to a perfection, close to perfection. Get all the defects out of the paint. You know, that's a good thing. Mirror finishes, sweet body lines. It's like making love to your rotary or your DA. But if you don't know who you are and what you're about, then you're kind of stuck. So you have to figure that out. That's the first part of world domination. Figuring out who you are, what you're about, what you like to do, and then go from there. Let's say you like to bowl. Well, shit. Build a bowling site. Whatever you need to do to focus your brain on what you love, it'll never be a day in your life that you work. So that's step one. Step two in conquering the world, or world domination, is put yourself in a position to dominate. You have to have a platform to jump off of. You have to have a home base. You have to have a place to draw people to that will get people to you and put eyeballs on you. That is the next step in 228, in building 228.com. I have to get people to me, to the website, and have them in a central location to entertain, to educate, to sell cool car care products, to sell my services. That's what I have to do. So build yourself a platform, and this is kind of where it's sticky, because if you don't know how to build a website, I recommend having a website. That you have to have it. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can do a blog. I mean, on a free site. You can do WordPress, which is free. Excuse me. I'm using Squarespace, but you have to have that platform. You have to have that home base. You have to have the Shopify store. You have to have something to get people to follow you or to reach you. To coincide with that, you have to have the social media outlets, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can do a Twitter handle, Pinterest. I think you can do Pinterest. I've never dealt with Pinterest, or I've never really dabbled with that one. But Snapchat, all the major platforms. With your LinkedIn, if you want to write blog posts, man, it's foggy on the ride home. If you want to do blog posts or whatever, have the backlink, have link to an article and share it on LinkedIn. That's where I had a lot of success for my previous blog, is posting content or sharing the link to the blog article onto LinkedIn. I've had a lot of success with that. People like to read on LinkedIn. It's definitely a place for people to read that are educated and like to read articles. So that's step number 2. Step number 3, build content. Content is king. The more content you can make, the more successful you will be in dominating the world. That's right, content. Not 1 or 2 pieces, 5, 6, 7 different pieces, blog posts, pictures with words, videos with captionings. Oh, and that's another thing, and I've seen this a lot. Videos with the captions at the bottom with the little time space thing to show you how far along in that video you are. But the caption is great, because what if you have hearing impaired people? I mean, that's great to have. That's accessibility at its peak. So you build content and you share it across all 7 major platforms to draw people into your website to give them more content or more education, or to be able to say, hey, I've got this content here. Why don't you take a look at the shop, see if there's anything you'd like to get, and we'll send it right out to you. Or, we have this great deal. Whatever. It doesn't matter. As long as you have the content that draws people in, that entertains people, that educates people, that makes them feel good about themselves, you have it all day. And on top of that, give all your content away. Everything. Give it away. Some of the plans that I have for 228 is documenting all the car stuff that goes on here in South Mississippi. Cruising the Coast, which is probably the largest car event in the nation. Cruising the Coast here in South Mississippi. We have Scraping the Coast in June. Cars and Coffee is going to be in January 20th in Biloxi. That's going to be my first car event. So it's kind of like being a reporter and reporting your experience and sharing it to the world. How cool would that be if you're listening to my podcast and you go to the website and you see all the cool cars and all the cool people in Cars and Coffee, or all the old classic cars that cruise to the coast. You didn't get to see that. You weren't here, but I'm going to show it to you. and I want you to be a part of it. I want you to experience it with me. There's a lot of cool people out, a lot of cool cars, nice rides. Scraping the Coast is in June. That's going to be really slick. They put a lot of cars in the convention center, and man, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So you get to share your experiences with people that have never shared those experiences or never had the ability to experience what you're experiencing. So all your content, give it away, the best stuff, let them have it. The fourth step is start a damn podcast. I put this off for so long that I was shocked how easy it was to put a podcast together with Anchor FM. Now, I do an ad read at the beginning of my segments, and that's only to get revenue, get some traction, and all this, any support that I get goes to 228.com. I'm trying to build this thing up. I don't want the money. I don't need the money. And actually, once we start rolling, I don't want to run ads at all. But for now, the sponsorships from the ads and the listener support would be great to have. But I really don't want any of that. I just want to talk. I just want to, I just want to get my message out. I just want to share with you on a different format. That's it. And it's really been a really fun thing to do on the drive home. That's pretty foggy. It's in the morning. It's 4:07 in the morning. I'm driving back home from work, and I can shoot this podcast out real quick. And by the time I get home, and usually the podcasts are they're less than 20 minutes. But by the time I get home, I'm done recording, add a title and a description to it, and I'm off. And this podcast will change a little bit because it'll form into 228. I'm going to do a podcast, it'll be more professional, detail oriented, car auto parts, more information, or whatever I've done for the day. But that, I can't recommend this enough. This has been the most exciting thing I've ever done. And it's getting better. It's all the uhs, does, and the way I talk, it's just, I'm getting better at it. I'm being more conscious and I'm more aware of what to say and how I'm going to say it and how I'm going to convey it to you. I mean, I really, really think that if you have an interest and you're building something, you've got to have a podcast. There's no doubt about it. So that's 4 or 5 tips to world domination. Number 1, figure out who you are. Number 2, get a platform to put all your knowledge and your excitement into, your products or your services. And number 3, give away all your content. Draw people into you. Build your tribe. 4, what did I say? Build out your social media links. I have a Facebook page, which is at 228. That's at TWOTWENTY 8. And I would love for you to like the page and follow the page on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram at 228 LLC, and that's TWOTWENTY LLC. I would love for you to follow the page and like the page and DM me any comments or questions, and I'll get back to you. No problem. And number 5, start a podcast. You want people to listen to you. You want to give them more content. You want to give them more access. Start a podcast. Get the stuff that you document what you're going through on the podcast. Could be 5-10 minutes, whatever. It's nothing big. I like to do it after work, driving home. By the time I usually hit the exit, I'm done recording, and man, Anchor just makes it so easy. It's not even funny. I mean, this podcast distributes on 8 different formats or 12 different formats or whatever. Not formats, but platforms. Man, I mean, it's great. It's awesome. So that's my 5 keys to world domination. Thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. If you like the podcast and would like to support it, I do have sponsorships, listener support sponsorships, as low as 99 cents a month. And like I said, all the support and all the likes, it all goes to 228.com and building that out. So I thank you for listening. I appreciate your time. Thank you for tuning in to me rambling on all the way to my house. And you guys have a great day. I love you. Bye-bye.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.